You are sleeping in your bed, you're white, life is awesome, when suddenly the police is here. And now you are at the beginning of a very long journey where you have to fight multiple court procedures in a system which the leftists rigged against you. The police comes into your apartment. This is my new colleague, Abdul Omar Ali. He is a German. He was born in Germany. And while they are searching your apartment, you still have no idea what you have done wrong. At this point, you don't even realize how screwed you are. And to make things worse, in your country, the police is allowed to look for so-called accidental discoveries, which could incriminate you even further. Sadly, bullshit like this happens every single day to countless Europeans. I mean, if you can even use the word countless, because there are not that many Europeans left. But as they confiscate your phone and your laptop, you proceed to make the biggest mistake ever. You start talking, and you talk, and you complain, and politics this, and your neighbors are doing that, and the cop just writes down everything. He's smiling at you like he knows that now you are even more screwed. When they finish searching your apartment, they tell you that you are now arrested and have to come with them into the police car. While driving, you have to listen to public broadcast radio, which is funded through a mandatory subscription fee that everybody is required to pay. Mr. Expert, what is the state of the European economy? Well, since we have not reached liberal utopia yet, the only scientific conclusion here is that we simply have not imported enough migrants. You arrive at the courthouse, and thanks to left-wing speed limits, it only took you 2 hours. The German guy named Omar Abdul Ali tells you to get out of the car. He leads you to the waiting area next to your courtroom. Man, I hope the judge will be fair. Oh, don't worry, he went to university. So you are sitting there waiting for your turn. You still have no idea what you have done wrong. And while going through every single crime you could have ever possibly committed, you ask yourself if maybe you accidentally stabbed someone. Nah, that would have only given me like 2 weeks of probation. Your name gets called. You stand up and walk towards the door. You are nervous, but deep inside you still believe that everything is just one big misunderstanding and that you will get a fair and honest trial. How naive of you. In the courtroom, the judge looks at you and says, I hereby start the sentencing process over a severe case of hate speech. Subject of the matter is a tweet from 2019, which I now will read out loud while distancing myself from the content. I will give 100% for my country. And therefore I sentence you to a fine of 29,900 euros. You ask if this is not a little bit excessive since the tweet has reached only 98 of your followers. This does not matter. What matters is that Twitter has over 600 million potential viewers and your tweet alone, just by itself, has almost completely destabilized the entire government. And now you have lost and go home defeated. But how could this be a reasonable sentencing for the so-called crime which you have committed? Even rapists often get away with much lighter sentences. While thinking about all of this, for whatever reason you don't even feel intimidated. Instead, you slowly become more and more radicalized. You want revenge. You are going to fix this bullshit. And while researching this topic on your brand new laptop because the old one got confiscated, you find out that you are not alone. Something is brewing. But more importantly, how the heck are you supposed to get the money to pay for the bullshit fine? Because this is a lot of cash for ordinary working class people like you. To clear your mind, you watch some YouTube where a video gets recommended to you, which is produced by your favorite public broadcasting service, which is completely objective and has no political bias. And it is a show where 4 leftists are debating on different sides, but have, surprise, the same opinion on every single topic. We don't have a problem with free speech. We have a problem with fascism. You keep watching how they refer to right-wing politicians as Nazi sluts and how everybody in the far right belongs into gas chambers. How are they allowed to get away with saying all of this? Because if you call somebody a cunt or an asshole, the legal system will destroy your life. But suddenly YouTube recommends you the video for which you have been waiting for. The one video which changes everything. Did you get fined 29,900 euros because you live in a piece of shit country with no freedom of speech? Then you need to hire me. Link in the video description. You now have a lawyer. Both of you go back to the courthouse. Your lawyer calmly walks over to the judge and slams a properly written appeal onto his desk. The judge starts to faint and then she collapses. How can someone do this to me? For I am the last line of defense against fascism. But the damage was done. He got embarrassed beyond imagination. All of his peers started making fun of him. They even went so far that they revoked his admission license. What a loser. But at least you are glad it is over. You are relieved and decide to take a few weeks off to visit your family. But this turns out to be one of your biggest mistakes. Because just as you arrive at your family's home, your own address receives a letter with the next court date. It is scheduled to take place just a few days from now. And to make things worse, your victory at the courthouse is quickly picking up media attention. You now have NGOs, funded by the government, which use AI to scan your entire Twitter timeline to find more things to screw you over for. And so-called activists have figured out who you work for and keep harassing your employer until you lose your job. All of that happens while you are sitting at home with your parents. Suddenly, you receive an email. It is from your bank. They tell you that being a right-wing extremist violates their terms of service and now they are terminating your bank account. And because you ignored the court invitation letter, the police assumes that you are on the run. They come to the home of your parents, arrest you and send you back to court. Remember, this whole process has already been going on for 2 entire years. Man, I hope this time the judge will be fair. Oh, don't worry, this time the judge is a woman. After 20 minutes of waiting there, you get called into the courtroom. But this time is different. The judge is pissed. She is completely offended that you have even dared to file for an appeal. She says that this is the most arrogant thing she has ever witnessed in court. The judge proceeds to read out all the evidence they have collected from your entire Twitter timeline. And remember how you have been talking too much during the initial search of your apartment? You are screwed. I hereby sentence you to 5 years in prison. And not just for the disgusting amount of hate you have been spreading online, but also because your handful of tweets have almost single-handedly destroyed our liberal democracy. You have lost. You go outside where dozens of leftists are celebrating. They keep calling you a fascist loser. Your life is over. So you walk over to a quiet corner where you can make a call. You call your lawyer on your brand new phone because the old one is still confiscated and he just says, I promise to avenge you. We may have lost the battle, but we have not lost the war. And I have a grand plan to prepare myself for the final battle of revision. You really hope his master plan works out, when suddenly you get approached by a reporter from your favorite public broadcasting network. Remember, they are completely independent from the government because they say they are independent from the government. Unfortunately, you are naive enough to agree to do an interview. They keep interviewing you for 4 entire hours where they repeat the same questions over and over again. Up until the point where you get so angry that you give them the 10 seconds for which they came for. I hate you and your bullshit democracy. And I promise you will pay for it with your life. At this point you don't even know that they have traced back your entire circle of friends and acquaintances back to some of your former classmates, which they also have interviewed. And notice how they are framing their questions. Are you 100% sure that the guy never behaved like, you know, a school shooter? I can't guarantee that he never behaved like a school shooter. And this is the finished product which they show to the public. Speaking of fascism, the far-right extremist, neo-Nazi terrorist fascist extremist was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Millions celebrate this brave and necessary decision. But what does the convict say about it? Do you think the sentencing was fair? I hate you and your bullshit democracy and I promise you will pay for it with your life. We got in touch with one of his former classmates. I can't guarantee that he never behaved like a school shooter. In the meantime. How could this ever happen to me? This is how fascism starts every single time. And since there's nothing which I did wrong, it could only mean one thing. The university I went to was apparently not gay enough. Therefore, I will travel to Canada, where I will use my expertise as a Reddit moderator to transition on taxpayers' money. Combined with my brand new hammer, forged by the most person of color, I will crush fascism for one last time. You meet with your lawyer in front of the courthouse. He is extremely confident that you will win the case. After a short amount of waiting, the gates slowly begin to open. A powerful voice tells you to come in. Both of you cautiously walk into the arena. As you get closer, you and your lawyer suddenly recognize the face of your opponent. Do you really think I let you fools defeat me? The lawyer was taken aback. Never before has he seen such a powerful opponent. The battle begins. The judge opens the procedure with extremely well-researched arguments, which includes words like whomst furthermore. Your lawyer gets nervous and begins to sweat. He did not expect the judge to be this good, but it gets so much worse when the judge follows up with, since I call myself an anti-fascist and you disagree with me. The only mathematical conclusion here is that you are, in fact, a fascist. Your lawyer, overwhelmed by the strength of Canadian education, quickly begins to faint. He struggles, but somehow manages to stay conscious. But as soon as your lawyer gets back onto his feet, the judge delivers the final death blow by calling him a racist. The lawyer collapses. Your defense is finished. Everything you have been fighting for over the last 4.5 years has been thrown out of the window. The room is silent. Even the judge could not believe it. When suddenly... the lawyer begins to cough. A sign of life. And then, with the combined strength of every single gym in Eastern Europe, he came back to life. He stood up, composed himself, and delivered the strongest and most overpowered response to being called a racist. I don't care! You win the procedure, the case gets dismissed and you get your phone and your laptop back. After this you become a viral millionaire and a symbol of free speech. Income taxes finally come down to a reasonable level and the world is now a better place because of you. And if you want to understand how the lawyer defeated the judge, you first have to understand why conservatives don't conserve anything.